Well, many college students are taking on a new lifestyle this fall and a new budget.
Here with some lessons on money management for your college freshmen is Roy Paul, Executive Director of Sensibility. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
All right, lots of good advice. So let's start. Okay, first thing, credit cards. A lot of times when kids first start school, that's the first time they get a credit card. What do they need to know before the...
Yeah, getting your credit card is a real lesson in what your needs are versus your wants. You never heard of people who have credit card debt and you ask them, well, what do you have debt in? And it's things like Lord & Taylor, Bloomingdale's, things that really shouldn't be on a credit card. And I was talking to a teenager the other day and he said, you know, I want these sneakers and I can't afford them. Can I put that on a credit card? And it's so easy to want to get tempted to put things you don't need on it, but you have to resist the temptation.
So do you think that they should have credit cards at all?
They should, because you have to develop credit. You have to know how to manage the credit, because if you think about it, they're teenagers and some of them are starting college, but once they graduate, they're going to have to apply for an apartment, and you need credit for certain things that you want to get, loans, etc. And the tough part is, if you don't really know how to manage the credit card that you get, you can actually damage your prospective ability to get a loan if you don't use it correctly.
And that's better than a debit card, right?
It is, to establish credit.
Yeah,
yes.
of course.
I'm guessing a lot of adults probably have to learn that lesson too, not putting all this stuff on the credit card.
Absolutely.
So their student will follow suit. Once a student does get into college, what are some ways they can save money?
Yeah, there are some, average tips that you hear all the time, when it comes to like getting used textbooks and things like that. But you'd be amazed at how many college students don't take advantage of the student discounts they get with just using their ID. A lot of stores locally will say, bring us your student ID and you get 10% off, things like that. I had a very famous rule when I was in college of appetizer Fridays. We would go out to eat. We could only go once a week. We couldn't afford anything else. And instead of getting entrees, we got appetizers, right? They're much cheaper, and usually they're just a smaller portion of an entree.
I have just a follow-up question to the credit card thing we just talked about a moment ago. Should parents be paying for what their kids put on the credit card, or should it be on the students?
Yeah.
Should they give them a budget, I guess?
Yeah, this is a tricky one, because yes, the student should be responsible. That's how you teach them money management. But if a parent feels as if their child is getting into the point where they're not going to be able to pay off their loans, the monthly payments, and they're going to be in risk of damaging their credit, if you can, yes, you should step in and help them.
All right. And how should kids and families prepare financially before even heading off to college?
Yeah, this is a major issue for me and what we talk about at Sensibility, because before kids go off to college, they really have a conversation about what their financial situation looks like. They go and talk to the financial aid officer. They have guidance counselors in high school. But when they say to mom and dad, what does it look like? Do we have a 529 savings plan? Do you have savings? If so, how much savings can I allocate to my expenses? And they usually don't have the conversation. And when I say to teenagers, they know they're going to college, they know they're taking out loans, and when I say, what's your monthly payment going to be when you graduate? They can't answer the question. So they're taking out $20,000, $30,000 a year without knowing what that monthly payment is going to be. And that's important for a number of reasons, but most glaringly, when you get your job, depending on the industry that you're in, many kids are taking out, making $30,000, $40,000 a year, paying back $800 or $1,000 a month in student debt, right? So it's unsustainable. You can't take out a car loan, you can't take out a home loan. Forget about retirement savings, because you're so inundated with paying back the loans that you really should have taken out in the first place.
So it's planning and thinking ahead past college to where you go to college.
And that's why this age, teenage to first year in college, is so critical, because that's when you're really going to make those mistakes if you don't understand.
I'm in it.
Yeah,
I'm in
you
it.
are.
My Rosie is going to go into sophomore year, so I'll be calling you, okay? Because there's a lot of things I need to learn.
A lot to think about.
I'll be waiting for the call.
Too much for one segment. Thank you so much for coming back. We appreciate it.
All this great advice will be on our website at cbsnewyork.com.
CBS 2 News Saturday morning. We'll be right back.